trial is set to start. President Barack Obama is set to lay out his plans for the closing of the prison at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba this morning. This comes just one day after the Senate voted almost unanimously to block funding for the closing. Congress says the president will get no money until they hear his plans. The potential sticking point here: what to do with the 240 detainees currently held at the prison. The administration thinks U.S. jails could house some of those prisoners. Opponents, however, say the country's prisons are simply not secure enough.
There are people convicted of terrorism in our prisons, and the president is confident that the people that are in our prisons now are locked away securely.
And that's just the facility itself. You're going to have to look at the perimeter of the facility, and then the town, and then the county, and then the state to figure out how they can improve their security posture. And so, to my knowledge, none of that has happened outwardly yet.
Officials have in the past said that as many as 100 detainees could be sent to the United States. The prison is scheduled to close by January of 2010. Let's get you over to Arthel, talking to local Congressman Brian Bilbray for his reaction.
Absolutely. Representative from California's 50th District, Brian Bilbray, joins me on the phone this morning. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Arthel.
Well, finally some bipartisanship on the Hill. You're surprised that it's over this one?
Well, I think I'm surprised that anybody in D.C. can agree to anything, but I think the president's given us a reason to kind of pull together and say, look, this is one issue where you've made a mistake, and you've got to go back and revisit it. I think that Democrats and Republicans are looking at not only the issue of we don't want these guys coming into our neighborhood, but the fact is that they're thinking about it in cooler heads and realizing a public relations issue is not as important as a national security issue.
Right. Because there's my question to you. Do you think that, first of all, how likely is it that some of those detainees, possibly 100 of them, would actually end up in U.S. prisons? And also, are prisons, in your opinion, secure enough?
Well, look, no, they're not, but not because we can't keep people in. You got to remember, there's a difference with this group. Our prisons are designed just to keep people in, not to keep people out.
Right.
And one of the things you've got with this group that you've seen in other parts of the world where the terrorists attack the prison to release the people that are incarcerated. And that's why Gitmo is so perfect for this aspect.
Right.
The access to Guantanamo is so limited. And I've got to just say, at this time, we've got to say, Mr. President, where is it safer and more cost-effective to keep these people than where they are now? Prove to me that it's not just about public relations perceptions, but reality. Where is the safest, most cost-effective way for the taxpayers and the citizens of America to hold these people? And I don't think he's going to be able to find a better place. And I hope he does with this what he did with the photo issue, and it comes back and said, look, I made a mistake. It's not as simple as I thought it was. Maybe it wasn't such a bad idea to keep these guys here.
But what about if it gets down to, or when it gets down to actual putting some of these guys on trial, and then they may have to be detained here in the U.S. while they're awaiting trial, actually?
Well, it's not just the trial. There is the trial issue. We got to understand, when you bring them onto U.S. soil, you start kicking in all kinds of rights that don't exist outside the country. You've got the Miranda rights. We still don't know. Do you need to read these? None of these guys are read the Miranda rights. There's certain legal procedures that we all assume once you're on U.S. soil. But the fact is that there's a reason why these guys in the past have never been given these kind of rights. These are, our legal process has moved way beyond where we were in 1940 when we were bringing captured German troops in the United States. Right now, everybody on U.S. soil, no matter what their background is given certain procedures that the rest of the world would think would be absurd if we did that to somebody who was an enemy combatant who didn't have the decency to play by the rules and then demands that the rules apply to them.
Definitely a complex situation, and we'll see what the president says in about an hour and a half when he addresses this very issue. Congressman Bilbray, always a pleasure to talk to you.
A joy to be with you anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All righty, it's 5.